If there's one crop that has frustrated more gardeners than it should, it's carrots. You sow them carefully, wait patiently, thin them just right, and still end up pulling skinny forked roots that barely seem worth the effort. I've been there myself, and I know many of you at Roots Haven Grounds have too, but years ago, I stumbled upon something that completely changed how I grow carrots. It wasn't written in seed catalogs or pushed by fertilizer companies. It was simple, old-fashioned, and almost forgotten. I call it the lost carrot method, and once you understand it, carrots stop being difficult and start becoming one of the most reliable, high-yield crops in your garden. Let's dig into it. Most modern carrot advice focuses on products, special fertilizers, perfect spacing tools, expensive seed tapes, or endless soil amendments. While these things can help a little, they completely miss the real reason carrots fail. You know, carrots don't struggle because gardeners are lazy. They struggle because carrots are, well, brutally honest plants. They grow exactly according to the soil environment you give them. If the soil resists them, they twist. If nutrients are unbalanced, they stall. If moisture is inconsistent, they split or stay thin. The lost carrot method works because it doesn't fight the carrot's nature, it actually works with it. Here's something a lot of folks forget about carrots. Carrots evolved to push deeply into loose, biologically active soil. Long before synthetic fertilizers and rototillers, gardeners relied on soil life, organic matter, and patience. Carrots were often grown in ground that had already been improved by previous crops, compost, and time. The key insight behind the lost carrot method is this: carrots thrive best in soil that is already finished, not freshly fixed. And honestly, this is where most gardeners go wrong. So, at its heart, the lost carrot method is about planting carrots where you least expect them to perform, and honestly, just letting the soil do the work. Instead of digging, fertilizing, loosening, and fussing right before planting, you actually prepare the bed months earlier through natural processes. Then, when carrot season arrives, you do, well, almost nothing. No heavy digging, no fresh manure, no strong fertilizers, just seeds and patience, really. Step 1. Choose a rested bed. This method works best in a bed that has already grown something demanding the season before. Think of crops like tomatoes, cabbage, maize, or potatoes. These plants force you to improve the soil with compost and organic matter earlier in the year. By the time they're harvested, the soil beneath them has settled, microbes have started breaking things down, earthworms have done their quiet work, nutrients are present but not aggressive. This rested soil is gold for carrots. If you don't have such a bed, you can create one by preparing soil at least 2 to 3 months before planting carrots and then leaving it undisturbed. Why freshly worked soil ruins carrots? Freshly dug soil looks fluffy and perfect, but carrots hate it. Loose pockets collapse unevenly, causing roots to fork or twist. Fresh compost releases nutrients too fast, encouraging leafy tops at the expense of root growth. In rested soil, everything has already settled into balance. Carrots grow straight because the soil offers gentle resistance, guiding them downward instead of forcing them sideways. This is one of the biggest aha moments for gardeners who try this method for the first time. Step 2. Stop overfeeding. One of the most powerful parts of the lost carrot method is learning to stop feeding carrots like heavy crops. Carrots are light feeders. When nitrogen is too high, they produce massive tops and disappointing roots. In this method, you don't add fertilizer at planting time. The nutrients left behind from previous crops and compost are enough. This forces the carrot to do what it does best: grow a long, thick taproot in search of balanced nutrition. The result is fewer leaves and far more energy stored underground. Step 3. Sow thick, thin, late. Instead of precision planting, sow your carrot seeds thickly. This may sound counterintuitive, but it plays an important role. Dense sowing creates natural competition early on, which encourages straight downward growth. Resist the urge to thin too early. Let the seedlings grow crowded for a while. When the tops are well established, thin gradually over time rather than all at once. This slow thinning process reduces shock and keeps growth steady and uninterrupted. Moisture is the silent secret, you know. Carrots grown with the lost carrot method don't need frequent watering, but they do need consistent moisture. The rested soil really holds water better, especially if it's got organic matter from previous seasons. Instead of shallow daily watering, you'll want to water deeply and less often. This way, roots are trained to grow downward rather than just spreading near the surface. It also helps prevent splitting and bitterness. In dry climates or during hot seasons, a light organic mulch applied after seedlings are established helps lock in moisture without cooling the soil too much. One surprising benefit of this method is fewer weeds. Because the soil isn't freshly disturbed, weed seeds stay buried. The carrot canopy, though light, shades the soil enough to suppress new growth. Less weeding means less disturbance, which again keeps carrot roots growing straight and stress-free. When carrots grown this way are finely pulled, the difference is impossible to ignore. Roots are longer, thicker, and more uniform. Flavor is sweeter because growth was slow and steady, rather than rushed by excess nitrogen. Many gardeners report yields that feel almost unfair, especially considering how little effort was involved. That's the beauty of the lost carrot method. It looks lazy, but it's actually deeply intelligent gardening. You know, as gardening became more commercial and product-driven, these slower methods just kind of fell out of favor. Quick fixes started to replace observation and patience, but honestly, nature never changed its rules. This method actually survived quietly in traditional gardens, passed down through practice rather than, books. Rediscovering it really reminds us that sometimes the best techniques are the ones we stopped using. If you're new to gardening, this method really takes away a lot of the complexity. You don't need perfect timing or expensive inputs, and if you're already experienced, it'll help refine your approach and reward you with consistency year after year. So, it's scalable and adaptable to small plots or even larger gardens, and honestly, it works in a wide range of climates when you adjust for moisture and timing. Here at Roots Haven Grounds, we focus on working with nature, not against it. The lost carrot method fits perfectly into that philosophy. It's sustainable, cost-effective, and produces real results you can taste and see. Carrots don't need to be difficult, they just need the right conditions, and well, the patience to let soil life do its work. If you've struggled with carrots before, I encourage you to try this method just once. Choose a rested bed, resist the urge to overwork it, and trust the process. Gardening doesn't always reward effort, often it rewards restraint. If this article helped you see carrots differently, subscribe to Roots Haven Grounds, share this with a fellow gardener, and help bring these forgotten methods back where they belong, into living, productive soil. Happy growing, and I'll see you in the garden.